Hello. Hello, hello, hello. That's not the right screen. Oh no. Oh, it started well. Never mind. Right, okay. Hello and welcome to Adventures to Order, where we build RPG locations, mostly Dungeons and Dragons locations, for you to use yourself and kind of get you into the headset that world building requires. Usually we do a stream 1 week on building a location and then the next week on populating it. But I didn't really feel like returning to last week's. It was kind of a little darker in tone. It needed a bit more work to make it kind of user friendly. So we're going to leave that on behind for now, but it will be eventually downloadable on our website. We've got our creative fuel right here, and I encourage you to join me if you have any creative fuel with you. But yeah, this is kind of how we start. I'm just looking at grungs at the moment on D&D Beyond, but we start every time with a basic theme, and we get some ideas going. Usually asking chat for ideas and things like that, and we kind of like from there build out what we need in that location. So I did put feelers out on social media for ideas. Nobody got back, but we'll have an audience eventually. That's fine. Hello again, Bard College. How are you doing? Yes, a return viewer. That's what I like to see. I hope you've got some creative fuel going today. Everyone needs some. I have some ideas in my mind. I don't know if chat wants to contribute any ideas, but what I'm going to do, instead of maybe just throwing random TV shows out there like I did last time, is we were going to have a look at the Sword Coast Adventures Guide. Because in the Sword Coast Adventures Guide, you get a pretty good Faerunian pantheon, and sometimes, especially in Dungeons and Dragons, it's kind of interesting to build a location out of a core religious belief for that location. This doesn't have to be dogmatic, it doesn't have to be anything like necessarily all this place is religion, but if the founding fathers of a location built it with dogma in mind, or with their faith in mind. I don't know what it is about streaming that makes me burp. It does make me burp. Then you can have a pretty good theme where you're coming from. So like for example, this god or goddess that we've got up here, Shanti, is the grain goddess, and it's got lots to do agriculture. So straight off the bat, if you had to pick that up and be like, all right, I'm going to build a whole location around the worship of this entity, then you've got a whole thing already. You've got, okay, so it's all based on agriculture, and your core theme becomes agriculture. You can build it out from there. Agriculture is pretty boring. We're probably not going to do that. But hey chat, which I think is exclusively Bard College at the moment. Hey Bard College, do you have any ideas for a location? Do you have any suggestions? Or no pressure, but we're gonna just flick through a little pantheon of god stuff as we do it. I've been playing a lot of God of War on PlayStation at the moment. I just got that game, and I've already played a good chunk of it. No spoilers if you would, but yeah, I'm really enjoying that. It's got a lot of themes brewing in my mind. Yeah, so I can come up with stuff, but I'm interested to see if anybody has anything. We've got the Scribe of Ogma, sort of basically a writing-based pantheon. Elder, that could be interesting. A quiet kind of. You always build locations to be busy and vibrant for players, but what if it was a quiet location? That could be interesting too. We've got Gond, main man Gond. I do like Gond. Yeah, not big on alignments. I like sitting down and pondering relationships between gods and followers, but like I always find alignment to be a very constricting principle in Dungeons and Dragons, and yeah, but I get why it's useful. But even the creators of Dragons are like, yeah, we had to leave it in. We'd have got up if we didn't. But yeah. And I do like thinking about alignment in how, if you can incorporate how it can be misconstrued into a game as well. That's interesting because like playing God of War recently, a lot, this isn't spoilers to say, a lot of that has to do with not liking gods and gods being bad or like inherently selfish. And I kind of like that interesting thought space of like, oh, everybody worships this thing, but it doesn't make it a good thing. It just means it can be either out of fear or misinformation, and that's interesting too, I think. And then to have a god come down and be like, kill you all, is kind of funny too. I do like Gond. That could be an interesting thing to build a location off. Helm, whose symbol is a gauntlet, and I always imagine that as as backhanding someone. We've got Hor, H-O-A-R, which is not what it sounds like. Which is all about taking on suffering from others. We've got like evil things. Thunder, which is always. Yeah, technology is a good one to go for. There's a lot of like technology archetypes out there as well. We might come back. We'll circle back to Gond once we've like had a little flick through, I think. Joybringer, a hedonistic place. Not one for these evil gods. Gond is kind of blurred. Mask is interesting. You get a lot of like, is it Ankh-Morpork, where they have a city with a guild of thieves that robs you and gives you a receipt. Mask is very much Ankh-Morpork feels. Hey, Freygil. Freya Lugl. I can't pronounce that. I'm gonna say Frey. Hey Frey, how you doing? We've got Maeli. I'm gonna pronounce it, please. Forest Queen. Thanks for joining us. I don't know if you've got any suggestions for themes or anything like that, but if we don't kind of come up with something in about 10 minutes time, we're going to just use kind of like a loose kind of Favorunian god mythos to kind of build a location out of. I'm inclined to not go dark in theme this time. Ogma is always good. Mistra. I'm not talking about Mistra at the moment. Well, a very magic-based place, but I feel like that might be too similar to our Gravity town. Setup. How's the audio, by the way? Music and me levels all right. I'm still very new to this. The Red Knight, the Lady of Strategy. Ooh, okay, that's very militaristic. Divination Lord. That could be interesting. I'm just reading this now. So you could have someone that's built around the idea of predetermination. That could be interesting. I've got Selune. Always. Now, soon is a very funny one to me as well. Music is a tad loud on channels. Okay, let's get that now. We've gone for. Is that better? Or is it not better? No worries. Let me know if that music's alright or it's too quiet or too loud. Like I said, I'm just kind of figuring it out still. I'm no expert. Yeah, we've got a bit of Assassin's Creed Black Flag going because I weirdly enough, I was going to put the God of War soundtrack on, but I didn't want to spoil the music for myself. I like the idea of Selune because it's just a vanity god, and that is always funny to me. You could have a whole place based on vanity. It'd be hard to build a whole location out of the idea of poisoning people and disease, but you could do it. Talos, the Stormlord. Moon Maiden is best, but I would maybe struggle to make a whole place out of worship. Or we could just do like an elven. We do a Moon Maiden place. Got all these. The problem with a lot of the religion in D&D is a lot of it is considered in terms of weaponization. So a lot of it tends to lean militaristic. In terms of like how you might interpret it in terms of civilization, but I'm thinking possibly I can't get off the idea of Savras, whichever's better there. You could think so. I guess then it's between Gond, Savras, and Selune. Let's just look at Selune real quick. Selune is thought to be one of the most ancient of Farudian deities. Most humans. Well, navigate to sailors. Okay. Just not feeling it, unfortunately. Selune and Gond. Oh shoot. We could do a Selune and Gond. Oh, we could do Selune and the divination one as well. Okay, so we're at Selune. Stars. Okay, I think that's a good start then. Let's have a look at Savras real quick. And then we're going to get into it because I think that is a winning combination. I've gone too far. I've lost. I've completely lost. Hang on, Control F. Oh god. I've whiffed this. Let's start from the top and we'll scroll down and we'll have a look at what they're into real quick because I've wasted a lot of time here. Such is my way. Let's find you. There you are. Absolute fool of a toque. Okay, the Divination Lord. It's okay, you don't have to know anything about D&D lore to do this. Like the last two places we did were based on. The first one was just about messing with gravity. It didn't have anything to do with D&D lore, and the second place was just a rip off the TV show Tiger King. So we're doing this today for like a lack of ideas, but like you don't have to necessarily know the lore. All you need to know going in now is that we're doing someone into the stars and someone into divination, and I think that's a good matchup. God of divination, fortune, few people worship him, but many pray to him performing small rituals of foresight. For example, young men and women sometimes attempt to divine the names of their future spouses by saying a rhyming chant that calls upon Savras while gazing into a mirror. Savras has no currently active temples in Faerun, and the shrines are few and far between. Tucked away in the corners of libraries and I don't know what that word is, scriptoria. Despite his lack of prominence, certain folk pay regular homage to Savras, including investigators, diviners, judges, and others who have need to uncover truth. Such individuals can sometimes be identified by the elaborate staffs they carry, or staves, some might say, in homage to Savras. According to legend, Savras was trapped in a Zeus staff for ages. Zeus eventually freed Savras, so long as Savras swore fealty, and today the staff is a potent symbol for those who revere Savras. Devout worshippers take great pains to decorate and embellish their staves, each hoping that Savras might find it a welcoming place to stop their time. Oh, that's lovely. I think I'm in love. we're definitely doing something with that now. Okay, so we've got, so let's start straight off the bat. Oh, still got an underline going there. You're gonna have to ignore my bad typing, unfortunately. I'll do my best. So we've got, brackets, and I guess Selune is matronly guidance. I don't want to like just define it as that, but there's a lot of meditation ties there as well. The milk stuff is kind of weird, but I'm getting the impression that not everyone can see because of the page, so maybe I should move that. I might move that chat box then, actually, just as a little. Can we do that? Yeah, we can. Can we shrink it? No, we can't. Apparently, we've done a thing. We've done a bad thing, and I apologise. Okay, that's fine. I'm leaving it there because that's I'm messing around too much. Right, so we've got yeah, okay, so protections in the dark, lost on the questing. Okay, so let's write these down real quick. We've got so Savras. I'm just gonna put brackets divination. And we've got Selune. Guidance questing. The Lost. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so we're in now. We're doing it. We've got it. So we need to hop up on some of them ideas. Get some of them down. Okay. So we've got a meeting of religions. Of worship. Kept that underline again. How dare I? Got a meeting of religions and worship. I think there's definitely like maybe a long history here. It's been around for a while, so old location with a long history. Are we going? And you can help me with this chat if you want. Are we going like crystals and incense kind of divination, or are we going like Minority Report kind of divination, kind of like more science than mysticism, or magic than mysticism, as those are two kind of slightly more defined themes in this setting? We have to move that chat box back, just realised, because put it in the way of what we are writing, like a fool. There we go. That's better. Cool. Yes, so what do you guys maybe think about it? So we've got an old location with a long history. I think crystal balls are a must. Crystal balls. Crystal balls are a must. I think this is a small location. I think that's what we're building today. I don't think this is a massive city or anything like that. I think this might be a village. I think this is definitely just a small. Why not go small today? We usually don't state that straight away until we know everything we're laying out, but I'm feeling cozy small. Cozy and small. Maybe there is I think you know, if we're going to lean on kind of like star god base depictions and maybe like general popular culture versions of that. We've got kind of like World of Warcraft style moon elves that have a lot of like water features to do with like gazing up at the stars as well. And of course you've got silvery pools and stuff. Cool, thank you. You've got silvery pools and stuff. So let's go with like I think this should have a central fountain or waterfall. I mean, you know, I like to break the mold of stuff, but sometimes a setting can just be classical. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's definitely got to have a view. There's definitely got to be a view in here. So central water feature, either a pool, waterfall, or fountain. I think pool, not a pole. We'll take a pole afterwards, but I think maybe a still body of water would be a nice place for this to be, a way to see the stars reflected off the sky. It could be a lake. It could be a lake. We could have like a real Loch Ness monster thing going on here. Or just a feature. I think we need, so it definitely has to have a view. Discouraged, I think maybe the use of lanterns might be discouraged. Maybe the use of like nighttime, use of unnatural light discouraged. So that you can better see the stars. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm trying to think how to make this just that little bit more outside the box, maybe a little bit more interesting. So maybe if it's like on the top of a mountain or something, maybe like it's on like a sheer drop. It's really hard to get to, or you know, maybe the location is like weirdly built or weirdly like shaped. We'll have to swing back to that. We could go like semi nautical with it, because of like how divination might be used to help guide ships. You know, if Selune has that kind of like questing guidance and sailors lost at sea kind of thing going, we could tie sea travel into it. I'm not sure that am I feeling that? I'm gonna put boats question mark, because you can have boats in a lake. They do, yeah, like you said, they are favouring it for nautical guidance. Islands not a bad idea. Yeah, okay. What if, rather than it being like a body of land, what if it was like a kind of reef structure that kind of protects something that's down into the sea? If you get kind of like if you had a bowl and pulled it like just to the surface, so like the location was inside, and then from within this kind of area you could see upwards into the sky. I do kind of like that, actually. That is nice. Ooh. Okay. I'm glad you like that. Possibly below sea level. Surrounding. Ooh, okay. Not as well as there could be a level of seals there, but do you know what I think? I think another good. So we're just these are the most rudimentary ideas. But when we get into the real interesting stuff is when we actually tie things to it. I think this place is hard to find. I think because of how it is set in the sea, and that there is a surrounding reef to kind of protect it and stop the waves crashing into it. I think you have to have extreme luck to find it, or if not extreme luck, some form of divination that's got you there in the first place. I like the idea of this being maybe semi-secret, so not so much as like not exclusive by any means, but there has to be an element of that divination to get you there in the first place, like guidance, that like, you know, that magic in some ways. Okay, so cool. So we know that Savras like staffs. So there's definitely like maybe like a culture of that in some way. What is there? Is it like, are people constantly like maybe carving constellations that they see? Is every staff a star map? Okay, straight off the bat. And if every staff is a star map, having one of these staffs in your possession of someone who might have left this place is one of the few ways to find it without divination. Staff member now. Every staff a star map, carve into it. Now that I do like, and you can see now that like a lot of just getting these ideas flowing in the first place is simply just writing stuff down. For the first, like, you can't see me, yeah, I'm like putting my finger to the screen so if you can see. For the first like section of this, we were just kind of like not clutching at straws necessarily, but we were just getting ideas out, stuff that isn't necessarily that fun or that creative, basic things. But as we've done it, our brains made the connection for us. And that's the biggest stepping stone to doing this in the first place, is just getting those ideas down, even the ideas that you don't like, because getting them down is what gets you to the ideas that you do like. So cool, I like that. So therein is a player hook straight off the bat. So let's start a new heading here. Underline that. Completely whiffed it. Meant to give that an underline, didn't. So all of a sudden, not only do we have a location in its infancy, we now have a quest for our players at home. So wherever they are, even if they're not here, and if this might not seem immediately useful to you, you have an object that they can find in the world and informs them of this place. Like all that needs to be said, really, even if you just say it's a staff with star maps on it, it's not as interesting, but like, it's a staff and it has star maps, it has constellations on it, and there's something that kind of itches your brain about it, as if this might be some kind of, or especially if a character's nautical background, has some kind of like, you know, star chart property to it, some kind of like map based property. It looks like it's a map of some sort, or it's gauging direction, or it could help you with travel. And then the players maybe research it, make some rolls, take it to somebody, and then, oh well, this is one of the, I can't believe you've got one of these. This is map to Star Place, or whatever we're going to call it. Star Place is too good a name now. Yeah, so a map to this place, and then all of a sudden, even if they don't want to go there, they're given this little bit of lore. This world's got a little bit bigger, knowing that oh, what's the big deal about this place? Well, it's like a basin in the ocean, and barely anyone's seen it, and you have to be like psychic to get there. But you could get there with this, and even if they don't want to go, that world is instantly more real by you giving them a location like this. Something simple but nice. Okay, so every stuff a star map. We've got that down. I think maybe okay. So if it's like a basin in the ocean, then how's that in terms of living? So we're thinking maybe a basin, like a pool looking up to the stars in the center of it, and maybe then living quarters in the walls. Okay. So let's expand on this bit here. What am I doing? Oh, I'm glad you do. That's encouraging to hear. Structure, and honestly, if there's anything anyone doesn't like the sound of, or thinks could be better, by all means, throw some of those ideas out there, and we'll adjust as we go along, because we're going to build this together largely. And it's nice to kind of like make sure a lot of different and fresh ideas get put into it. I can do all the work. I'm probably supposed to do all the work, but I like outside ideas too. So if anyone's got anything. No bad ideas here. Well, I mean, there are bad ideas, but I'm going to pretend they're not that bad. Structures built into walls. Space. So we've come across our first hurdle. If these people are in the middle of the ocean, how are they eating? Do they have people come in? Do they have the odd ship that they trust come in with food? Or is there some kind of like, God, we come on the use of algae in food a lot. Some kind of fishing that they can do? Is there maybe no, I know exactly how they do it. Beyond these. I don't think it moves. I think to be clear about it, and when we do the final write-up, we'll make it a lot clearer and maybe have an illustration in there. A bad illustration because I will be drawing it. I think it's like a geological occurrence. So this is like stone come up to the lip of the ocean and form this basin, and then you've kind of got like side chambers that like branch out. Maybe it's volcanic in nature, something like that. It doesn't have to be completely plausible because it's high fantasy, so who cares? But I think star maps can get you. Sailors sail by the stars a lot of the time, and I don't know enough about it to make it accurate, but we can say wibbly wobbly that if you have a good enough star map, that you can kind of find your way anywhere. So in reference to the stars, like these staffs with these carvings in them would have essentially enough information on it, so like whatever the kind of sky had turned to, you'd be able to find your way, essentially. Well, that's the feeling anyway. And hey, maybe it's magical. Maybe it's not just etched in. Maybe the staff, it changes with the sky. Maybe the staff glows ever so slightly, making it even more interesting to players. That's up to you, really. We can put those suggestions in at some point. But yeah, I don't think tides are a problem for it, because we're going to have like maybe geological barriers or reefs that kind of stop the tides kind of pushing and lapping over into this place. I think it's hard to get to answer the question properly. It's hard to get to because of these kind of defences that it has, these natural defences, or if you were looking on the ocean, you might miss it because it's not above sea level necessarily. But like that, this is rather than just a basin, it is slightly more maybe bulbous and volcanic in nature and bubbling out, and maybe the central section is hollow, and you've got these kind of chambers to the side. So yeah, okay, let's put this volcanic in nature. It makes it more plausible. It doesn't have to be plausible, but we're going to make it more plausible. Yeah. And where volcanoes can fish from and grow. And I think we have to maybe... Is it visible on a full moon? Oh, that's good. I would talk about the staff because that's... Yeah, no, I really like that. That's interesting. Okay, let's write that underneath the staffs. Because I think... I think that should maybe be down to the DM and the table, whether or not that's what leads to it, because it might be that you need that level of intrigue for your players, or it might be that that's a little bit too much for your players and maybe expect a little bit too much of them to figure out that this activates in Moonlight or have it out randomly at a time. I do like it as a feature. I would definitely run it like that, but we'll leave that in as an optional. Do you know what? I don't know that it is optional. If we're tying this to Selune, I mean everything's optional because this is all D&D, but stuff. And the Moonlight, I like that. I like that very much. If we've got Selune in there, then most definitely. I think that this is a place of pilgrimage. It's definitely a place of pilgrimage. Need. Okay. I like that. So maybe if you have a paladin of Selune or a cleric of Savras, your high cleric or high priest or leader of your faction could say, oh, this is a staff from such and such a place. If you hold it under the light of the moon, you'll find your way, and this is where you must make pilgrimage, my child. That can be like a cathartic activity for a player. I like that. Ooh. Creative juices are flowing. Right. Yeah, it could be a rite of passage. Only once. Yeah, maybe they don't hand you the keys to the kingdom, as it were. Maybe they don't give you the means to find it, and you've got to find it yourself. And that is your true. It is either an example of your level of divination or your resourcefulness. I like that. You know, along the way, maybe you fight 3 or 4 dragon turtles. Who knows? Yeah, okay. Let's type that in. Rite of passage. How did I do that? That's mental. I do that all the time. 4 Selunites. Savarites? That doesn't sound right. Ingenuity. I've got brackets advancing in rank. Because that's the name for some players as well, is to like, I want my low level character to be a head honcho. Cool. Right. Anybody else got any other ideas there? Because these are rocking right now. Right. We've got a meeting of religions. So let's maybe get some lore in here then. Maybe 2 ships literally passed in the night. I'm just gonna unplug this for now. Actually, think about it. There we go. Literally past the night. Maybe there was a crash. Maybe like a ship carrying a priestess of Selune, a priestess or priests or whatever of Savras crashed into each other. Okay. There's a little room for animosity there as well, if you actually have maybe 2 factions, but I don't think you need it. But I like the idea that like a bad thing happened and then the parties went, yeah, no, that was fate, of course it was. I mean, I should have seen it coming, being a diviner and all that. But yeah, okay. I like maybe the idea of like, so we've got there's cool things you can do. There's just little nice stuff like, you know, maybe some of the staffs are made of driftwood. You know, maybe some of the older staffs are made from the wood of the ships that are the original ships that crashed. Maybe some of them are made of stone. Maybe you have a stone staff and it's real heavy. And the reason I'm a grumpy priest of Selune is because I have to carry this heavy staff all the time. I like that. So we've immediately got an NPC here, and it is person with stone staff who is grumpy all the time because of it. It's just silly. It's silly, but I like it. Oh no. I'm mad. There we go. Right. I like that very much. Back to the staff. Okay. want to made of stone by idiots. Cool. What else we got? What else can we think of here? Yes, I think like, you know, maybe so to add to that idea of those crashed ships, maybe a lot of this place, of the mechanical aspects. Brackets, if any, should be made of old ship rigging. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Mirrors. Okay. Yeah, a lot of mechanical aspects. So for example, like I think like a lot of that, if there were crash ships, then you know any pulleys that exist should be made with like old ship rigging and stuff. Mirrors definitely. I'm just gonna write mirrors for now and come back to it. Because I like the idea that what's happening? I like the idea that there are two statues in this place. What am I doing? Two statues. Which were both originally the mastheads of the ships. Possibly fused or like mangled together. And then you've got that symbol of like that unity, but also like that kind of like bare bones, like this is what we've got to work with, kind of like, hey, the ship mastheads might have been in like the visage of Selune or Savras, so you could have this kind of like, you know, it might have like bent in such a way that it is the image of a woman holding a orb covered in eyes, or yeah, somewhat mangled, or you know maybe just it wasn't an orb at the front of the ship, and then maybe the other kind of like ship's front or masthead was just a representation of different eyes and was mashed onto it and has created this impression of eyes or something like that. I like those two kind of symbols coming together in that way. Could just be a moon and an orb. Could just yeah. Do you know what makes a lot more sense if it was a crescent moon and an orb and it's just mashed in and stuck like that. Yes, I like. So we've got mirrors. I think there could be, yeah. So mirrors. Angles to reflect natural light. Cool. Glad you like that. Let's reflect natural light and I like that. I think there should definitely be a pool in the center of this place. It's kind of like maybe it's fresh water that's filtered through the volcanic rock around it, and it's the only source of like fresh water in the place. View the stars. So we've got a freshwater pool filtered through rock. Still used to view the stars. Brackets also drink. I think it's warm here as well. It's definitely warm. And you know, maybe there's a danger there as well. Maybe you have to get people out of here. Maybe one of the things you have to do is convince people to leave because it's not safe here. But it's a haven. So we've got another plot hook there for players. There we go. Cool. That's some good stuff. Okay, so we're coming up on roughly an hour now, and we might take a little break. But let's go over what we've done so far. So we've got a place dedicated to Savras and Selune. Lots to do with divination, but also guidance and kind of questing and meditation. It's only small. We've got this meeting of two religions, maybe two ships crashed in the night together. And that's why I found this place. Turns out that was fate. I think it's clear it's got no location with long history. Crystal balls are a must. I think we're going to get rid of this. Crystal balls are a must. Because... alright, you know what? Here we go, straight off the bat. No crystal balls. But the natural crystals. Geodes fused in place. It's like it was made for you, Frey. Honestly, knowing you. In place. Central walls feature either a pool or waterfall fountain like. Yeah, we've got that down. We can get rid of that little bit there. A good view. It's not high up, it's low down, funnily enough. Haze has. That doesn't need to be there anymore because we've got the mirrors and stuff. Boats are indeed a question mark, and we can leave it like that for now. An island, technically. I'm just gonna add technically that. Okay, so we've got it's below sea level. It's kind of volcanic in nature, kind of basin. Structures built to walls, village, little bathyspheres that they can fish from and grow what food they need, like maybe mushrooms and seaweed based stuff. I've got a freshwater pool. It's warm, it's got to be warm, otherwise how would they survive? It's hard to get to and find. We've got the staff, every staff that's a star map, and like part of living there, and your pilgrimage is to make a star map. Train seabirds. Ooh. I think that's not a bad idea. But I think that I think it should be a more private place. But do you know what I do like seabird? I don't think maybe train seabird, but seabird familiars maybe. Maybe they have one or two familiars here that are seagulls or the like, and if absolutely necessary they will have them send a message, because I really do dig the feeling of privacy here, and maybe like holding on to that and a less kind of open nature to it, as it were. But yeah, so we've got maybe seabird familiars or messengers. Messengers. For emergencies. That's quite a good idea. There's still something spooky hidden deep at the bottom of the basin. I don't know. Is there something spooky hidden here? Is there an unwoken thing that no one could have possibly known about? Is that simply the volcanic activity, or is it something more? A pelican familiar. Okay, we're going to put that in as well then. I'm going to put not and because pelicans are seabird. Pelican. Like pelican. There we go. Yours is called Rory. Okay. Maybe we should add that as an NPC. We're going to put Rory the pelican. I know you trademarked it, but it's too late now. I've written it in here. You weren't fast enough. Cool. Yes. I think we will take maybe a little break there. See, as it's come up on 8 o'clock. Feel free to refresh your drinks, or ease your bladders. As we take this quick break, we'll leave the music going. But I'll turn my microphone off. So I'll see you in 5 or 10 minutes. Hey, we're back. Right, hey ho. So, we've got... Oh, okay, sleepy. I just started doing this earlier because I'm shattered. I'm not sure how much longer we're going for. But we'll see how far we get. I am quite happy to start populating this place next. Ooh, that's my chat window. I'm quite happy to start populating this place next time. We will just kind of, as you know, I think I'm just gonna call this place Polaris for now. I can't think of anything better at the moment. The lost city of Polaris. Still needs to be hashtag. I didn't delete this. Yeah. So, if anybody has any better names, by all means shout them out. I think we've actually made a pretty concise location there. I can't really think of much more to do with it, if I'm honest. I think we just need... does it even have a tavern? That's something to think about. So, we've got leadership, we need that. Do you know what a beautiful idea would be? Is if, and it might be slightly heteronormative, it might not, depending on how you look at it. I think the two priests, two priests. This is how tired I am. I can't spell anymore. I couldn't spell in the first place. Two high priests of both religion had a child together. And this is the... I'm going to put like a leader. Embodying the best parts of both teachings. I like that. So I think that would be the kind of leader figure. We can randomise who they are and what species they are later down the line. Oh, I'm so sleepy. Oh, sorry guys, I don't think we're going to go on much longer. We're just going to lay out what we need maybe to populate the place. And then we'll pick it back up next time. So we've got we've got that leadership person. It's not a lack thereof. Leadership. We've got taverns. Do we have a tavern? Do they drink here? I don't think they drink here. I think there are. Maybe a. So yeah, maybe not a bar as much, but that might be the kind of place that people kind of hang out, I guess. Not a tavern, but not a tavern, but not bad either. I don't think you can really have a tavern in this now. I mean, they could have alcohol still. I think. Do you know what? I think that's another idea of the place. Is alcohol is a finite resource. Hoarded or guarded? Like if you have a very alcoholic bard, they may be upset to find out that there's not really any of that here, and then maybe someone takes pity on them and gives them some of their secret stash, or the kind of their heart. But it would be fun on the ground. Oh, if there's any merchants, why would there be merchants here? Yeah, I don't think there's anything like that. I think there's simple goods. I think maybe the occasional piece of treasure. Washes up here. And maybe there's an NPC who that goes through. Or maybe they're kept as relics. Let's think about chief export. Well, there's a reason to go there, which is pilgrimage. I'm going to put religion / pilgrimage for that. Okay, so we need. We've got the person who's got a stone staff here, Grumpy. Rory the Pelican, we've got possible treasure, hoarder. Possible moon shiner. Lead religious figure, and we need somebody new who is struggling. I think a good idea is to have a castaway. Castaway doesn't want to be there and has a chance to leave. Is an interesting idea for it, I think. If anybody's got any other ideas for NPCs that might be essential to this place and can't be randomised, now's the time. I think we're going to maybe wrap this up in about 10 minutes. Sorry to make you wait for a break, I need to stop. Yeah. I think maybe after somebody who's struggling with way of life there. Somebody who is super into the way of life here. But can't seem to reach enlightenment. There's already a bit of conflict there. Archives of text, that's not a bad shout either. That I like. And I get the feeling there's possible, like maybe there's somewhat of a druidic nature here as well. I'm gonna put druids and ideas just as like a. Yeah. Okay. I think we need a handful of. Maybe it's like the beach, you know, maybe we can go away for like a little bit and come back. Or like, you know, the Amish. Handful? I think we've got a lot to go on there. What else do we need? Instead of NPCs. I think most everything else that you might need would be randomized. So like if you had like someone who was in charge of fishing or farming and stuff, or families did it for themselves. I'm gonna put just as like a bit of a Mickey take, a druid who pops in whenever they feel like it. That's kind of fun little like, maybe he brings the booze in every now and then, and does like, oh I got you this dingle hammer. You know, I don't like sea elves. It winds me up, because why would you have sea elves when you have tritons? Because tritons make more sense to me than sea elves do. I don't know why I hate the idea of them so much. I'd like to maybe keep, not because I don't like them, but I think this works better if nautical species don't have anything to do with it. If it's like a more jarring way of life, then it would be something natural, because that's kind of what makes this interesting. Because you okay. Oh no, maybe they're okay. So hear me out, because this could be optional. Is there a sea elf prince or triton prince who has fallen in love? A member of this village, and against the wishes of his father, pops his head in from time to time. I'm just gonna put brackets Little Mermaid. We could do like a gender inverted Little Mermaid there. He kind of pops the head in cheekily. Star-crossed. Maybe there's no angle there. That's pretty cute, but I don't know if that necessarily works. I think I'm gonna put optional there, because that's a little silly. And not that it can't be silly, but it doesn't necessarily go with everything else here. But I like that little bit of fun you can throw in for a player. Yeah. So I think we've got. What are NPCs? Sea Elf Prince? I like the idea of Tritons. I really want to do a Triton fighter for a while, who in the sea was the best there was at what he did, was like the best fighter under the sea, and then gets on land and is level 1 again, because because it's just the way you move on land is different to underwater, so he just can't get it quite as right. So he's got to relearn over again. I found that like a very funny idea. Valzax. I guess. Is that a reference to something? Or... I don't know if that's a reference to something. So I'm going to say a tentative yes. We might keep that for next time. But it's in the chat, so I can remember. I think we're going to wrap it up there then, guys, because I think that's a lot to work with. I will go away, do some typing and bring it back. Maybe either... So the intention from here on out is to maybe try to do 2 a week, if we can. I don't know if that's too much. If it is too much, then maybe we'll do 1 week build, 1 week populate. But those population streams can tend to go a little bit slower and be a little lower energy because it's a lot more kind of like busy work in a kind of way. But whatever people find like interesting, we might just stop doing the population stuff and do that off screen, unless when we do have an audience, kind of people ask for it. I might do some like rounds on social media to be like, what would you like to see from Adventures to Order streams? But for now, I think maybe I'll do this next Monday rather than do another one this week. And then the weeks after, we'll try and go for 2 a week to see if we can get like let's build and let's populate, and we can get the 2 angles of like creation from a DM standpoint for people who maybe need help or just inspiration. But I'd like to thank the whole chat for throwing ideas at me. It was really, really helpful, and I felt like you did a lot of the work there for me, so thank you all together. A lot of this will be going up on adventurestoorder.com. I don't know why Dell came up there. Adventurestoorder.com. I'm glad it does. I'm really glad it does. Which will be eventually under our DLC type. We have done 3 of these now. I've not put any of them up yet. It just takes a little bit of time to type them up and get them all set. But Gravity Town should be coming up soon. I'm putting there for like a free download. Whenever people want to use them for their own home stuff. So please, spread the word, check us out. We are Adventures to Order on Facebook and Adventure 2, the number 2 Order on Twitter, if you can spread the word. But this has been really fun, and I really like doing it. It's given me a good creative outlet in these uncertain times. But thank you all very much. Again,